Okay, let's carry on. Now we will deal with what we call inverse of a function. Now, in order to illustrate inverse of a function, let's take a look at function 3x plus 4. You times 3 plus 4. Correct? You process this number times 3 plus 4. You will get minus 5. Now, the definition of f inverse, the inverse of a function, is such that what is this number processing rule such that I process the rule this number this way. Correct? So f inverse is a function that processes numbers the other way. The other way. This way is the other way. So by definition, if f negative 3 is negative 5, then f inverse, which is the inverse function, the rule of the reverse way, f inverse negative 5 is 3. So if f inverse exists, then if y equals f inverse y equals x. Quite clear? All okay, that's the definition of f inverse. So I think it's not difficult to write this down. So if f negative 3 is negative 5, then f inverse negative 5 is negative 3. Similarly, f inverse of 1 is negative 1. And if we know you input this, you will get this. Then you input this into f inverse, you will get minus 5. I think it's not difficult to understand that, but how do we find the general expression for f inverse? I give you a simple example. Before going to here, let's use a simple example. Zoom in a bit. Simple example. Now, if gx is 2x, that means you times 2. Is it difficult to tell me that because you g inverse x is what? You put 1, you get 2. You put 3, you get 6. This is g. What is g inverse? G inverse is the other way, right? That means you halve the values, right? Does it make sense that this is x over 2? You halve all your values? Of course. But this is very intuitive because you go this way. You go, sorry. Where's this going on? Yeah. You go to the right. To the right is times 2. You go back left, it should be divided by 2. But of course, that's very simplistic. But what if you have a little bit more complicated expression called 3x plus 4, y, fx equals to 3x plus 4. The idea is this. I let this be y. Now, we know the rule. I put x in, my output is 3x plus 4. That means if I put 1 in, I'll get 7. Correct? I put 1 times 7. So far so good, we know the rule this way. Now, our objective here is, if I put a number here, what is the rule for this number? What is this f inverse rule such that I process the number this way? The technique is this. I let y be equals to 3x plus 4. Now, this now becomes y. If I can make y, if I can make this x in terms of y, my job is done. Correct? I just make x the subject of the formula from here to here, making x the subject. Then I have devised the rule, and I think it's quite obvious. The rule is therefore I put in y, I minus 4 divided by 3. The rule this way is times 3 plus 4. The rule this way must be minus 4 divided by 3. Of course, intuitively we all know that it works like that. Correct? I say one more time, you work this way, it is times 3 plus 4. You go this way, you minus 4 first, then divide by 3. Correct? So, which means the rule is such that if I put y here, I will get a y minus 4 over 3. The rule is such I put y, I will get this. The rule is such that I put y, f inverse y is this. Now, very often we don't want to put y just by default, nothing special. So, usually we will change this letter to x. Usually. So, because, and also the question asks for f inverse x. So, we will definitely put it as f inverse x and not f inverse y. Even though technically these two mean the same thing. Really mean the same thing. These two are the same. These two are the same. Okay. Let's also clear a few doubts. What is fx to the power of negative 1? Fx to the power of negative 1 is actually 1 over x, which is actually 1 over 3x plus 1. However, f inverse x, this is as it is a notation. This is the inverse function of f. It's like that. This is simply x minus 4 over 3. This one is done just now. So you realize that these two do not mean the same thing. These two, I repeat, these two do not mean the same thing. What about f prime x? F prime x refers to the derivative. I repeat, f prime x refers to the derivative. The answer is 3. Derivative of f. Differentiate one. Oh, good. Now let's take a look at example 4. Now it's slightly more complicated, but the technique is the same. We have gx equals to this. Find g inverse. So the idea is this. I know the rule going this way is g. I want to know the rule going this way. What is g inverse? So I let x is x. This is 4e 3x minus 1. And I let this be y. Correct? I let y be equals to 4e 3x minus 1. Our objective at the end of the day is to make x the subject. We do. We want to make x the subject. Make sense? So, what do? We plus 1 on both sides, divide by 4. Get e3x. After that, we take ln. Divide by 3, you get 1/3 ln y plus 1. So therefore, g inverse x, remember to change the y to x because this is g inverse y, is 1/3 ln x plus 1. Alright, all good? Alright.